Alright, we're live. Welcome to Dave's HadeNuFF Show, episode 29, and I got some new guests, and some regular guests, and some old guests. How's it going, Shawnell?
Good, how's it going, Dave? Glad to be here.
Pretty good. How's it going, Vexium?
Sorry, I had to. Hello, everybody. British guy in the room. What's up?
How's it going, Levon?
Hi. Hi, everyone. This is Levon Casey.
HadeNuFF Show, episode 29, and I got some new guests. Levon, are you watching the podcast
I'm
again?
into a podcast again.
Levon, are you slow in the brain? I'm joking.
And I think Justin Wheeler's there, but he might be coming back. How's it going, Justin? All right, he'll come back. All right, Justin Wheeler's here.
Yeah, I'm here, dude. I'm just at work, so I can only talk every once in a while.
He's like 21 seconds.
All right. Pretty much what we're going to talk about is the Video Game Awards, the PlayStation experience that took place. I didn't see it all. I saw most of that. I saw all the Video Game Awards. And we're going to talk about a couple other things, like the new Street Fighter exclusive to PS4, and some other things I want to throw out there just to get some people's opinions, you know, just over some of the videos I've seen and just other topics I want to talk about. But pretty much the Video Game Awards took place last night. A lot of people thought that Bayonetta 2 was going to win Game of the Year. You know, you got a lot of upset Nintendo fans over that. Dragon Age Inquisition won. What do you think about that, Sean?
I never really expected Bayonetta 2 to win Game of the Year. Normally, I'm just going to say, like, Nintendo games don't normally win Game of the Year. But I was surprised that it was Dragon Age because I'd heard a lot of people on the internet talking about that game being a little bit glitchy and shit like that when it came out. I was surprised it didn't go to a game like Shadow of Mordor, which I've heard a lot more people praising.
Yeah, I don't know. It was Dragon Age Inquisition. I never played that. I'm not usually into those type of games. Maybe I need to give them a shot. That's more like an Elder Scroll type game, right?
As far as I know, I had played the second Dragon Age, and it wasn't a great game, but apparently they kind of got it's a little better than that. They kind of went back to the roots more like the first game, but like I don't know.
Except there were no fucking twisting head glitches.
What were you wanting for Game of the Year? Bayonetta 2 or?
Well, like that was one of the only ones I'd played out of the thing, out of like the list of games, so that's what I would have picked by default.
Okay. I think a lot of people last podcast when I asked, I said, what do you think they're gonna give Game of the Year? Not like what do you
earn it
want to be Game of the Year? It's like, what would you think they would give Game of the Year? That's what I was going by. Maybe people misinterpreted that or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was even wrong. I thought it was going to be Shadow of Mordor, but it was Dragon Age Inquisition. But, you know, Nintendo didn't go home empty-handed. They got a Best Developer of the Year.
And I think Mario Kart 8 won that driving game award,
yeah,
too.
they won Best Sports and Racing Game. Best Fighting Game was Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U, which should have been nominated for Game of the Year. I don't know why.
Yeah.
They did an excellent...
Yeah.
Smash Brothers game. The game is good. Like
Smash Bros. Is phenomenal.
Yeah, I think graphically it's one of the best ones on the Wii U. That's just me. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. It looks like Xbox. Some people even say it looks like Xbox One quality.
No, it looks good. Like I'm
No, it looks good.
I'm impressed with it.
Does that mean, hold on, Dave, did he just say Neverland quality? Is that Neverland certified?
I don't know. You never know with LeVon.
Neverland is quality.
I love this guy.
They won Best Family Game, Mario Kart 8. So Nintendo did win a lot of awards.
Yeah.
It's just they didn't win Game of the Year.
And they had 3 world premieres, which was surprising.
Yeah, and like Zelda, they showed that off. That was very impressive. What did you think it looked like, Sean? Well, Vexium, what did you think? Let me go to you.
Yeah.
What, the Nintendo stuff?
The Zelda. What did you think of
Oh,
that?
Zelda! I was really surprised. Like, like in the distance, like, because I was watching the video where they had it on like the screen, and he was like, "Oh, it actually runs." But yeah, it looked really good. Everything was like loaded in, and I actually like the cartoony style graphics.
Mhm.
I don't really necessarily think it's a bottleneck with the system. I just think that it's kind of new and different, but yet still remains like you said Ocarina of Time, I believe you said.
Mhm.
Wind Waker, they've kind of kept it similar, but it is, stepping up a level. And I think the gameplay looks really solid.
Do you think that's what they showed us from Nintendo Live event?
It's similar, but I don't think it's exactly.
Yeah, it's not exact. That's what I thought. What about you, Shawnell?
I think it was a little different, like Nintendo does. They never show you like a hyped up version of the game. They show you what's going on at the time, and then every time you see it, it just looks a little better, looks a little different.
All right. Well, we're learning that's what a lot of games like. We got Watch Dogs that came out. Definitely don't look like what we got when we received it. You've been playing Watch Dogs on the Wii U, right?
Yep.
And would you say that game graphically on the Wii U? We've seen frame rate videos of it hitting 14 frames per second. But would you say it looked all right for the Wii U, or?
Yeah, it doesn't look terrible. Like, I don't think it looked as good as Assassin's Creed Black Flag did on the Wii U. Like, it doesn't look like they put as much into it as maybe they did with that game, but, like, it doesn't look terrible.
Okay.
14 frames is not playable. I'm going to put my mask on here.
No, yeah, like, frame rate aside, like, just the visuals.
Frame rate problems.
Well, I've seen it dropping down to 14 frames per second while the the PS3 and the PS4 was still up around like 28, somewhere around. It was real low. It was bad. It wasn't like the PS. It should at least keep up with the PS3, I would say.
Yeah, that's what I said before. Like, if it's not at least as good as the PS3 version, then someone didn't try.
Yeah, because that PS3 version almost kept up with the PS4. It was not far off. And then I was looking
like, frame rate wise.
Why do you think that is? Do you think it is because the console is not powerful enough, or is the developer fucking up on purpose, or not caring, taking time with it?
As powerful as the other consoles, but at the same time, Ubisoft didn't actually develop the port. They themselves like sent it off to a different company to do.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that might have something to do with it too.
I'm going to say one thing, and I don't really like any company that hides the E3 files when a PC gamer wants them high visuals after paying most of the time a lot of money for their system. Dark Souls was a terrible port. Fuck you From Software for that one, but we fixed it. And I don't know. I don't think it's the Wii U or the PS3. I just think it was a lousy port in general. Watch Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just I don't know why they do what they do sometimes. Like, do they just want it like? Is it like they didn't give a shit? They're like, oh well.
I know it doesn't make any sense because Watch Dogs was. I mean, I was surprised because I never liked it from the get-go. I'm gonna be honest. I know it's really surprising to some people. They know I like Deus Ex. They know I like GTA. I'm not saying it's both mixed together, but you get the point. It was one of the hyped-up games of E3 2013, right? I mean, a lot of people were looking forward to it, and for them to slip up like that, I just. Because you expect a company to make a fuck-up and then make a big one good,
It was probably the most hyped game of 2014 was Watch Dogs.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't what they delivered. Like,
well, so far, I don't think one hyped up game from this year's delivered.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wasn't this impressed with GTA 5. I think that's a great game.
Well, that's a re-release of the game. I'm talking about like a game like Destiny that was also hyped up.
He's talking about like a new game for the
like a new IP for this year.
And then people argue on Grand Theft Auto. They say the online's fucked up. I don't know.
I haven't played it personally, so I can't say anything.
And the PC guys, well, not the real PC gamers, but the ones that wear them Ray-Ban sunglasses and are slow in the brain say, "Oh, you're just beta testing for us."
The guys that have to fucking fix all their own glitches and make all their own fucking mods and patches.
Hey, don't diss it. I will have boobs on Trevor one way or another.
The most craziest thing I heard lately is when somebody, you just brought beta testing. They called Shadow of Mordor a beta for Batman Arkham whatever city, or he's like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a beta.
Shadow of Mordor is a classic example, and I think you'll know what I mean when I say Resident Evil 5. Resident Evil 5 did well on all platforms, and so did Shadow of Mordor. It was a solid game. I was surprised because I'm not really into them games, but when my bro Dragon Crest PC, shout out to him, played it and gave a little review, I was, I'm gonna get that game when I get some more money.
Well, I just thought that was going to be Game of the Year. It's not that I just thought that's what the company, whoever does the Video Game Awards, was going to give that Game of the Year because it's got all good feedback around the board, like just like Bayonetta 2. But the only reason I didn't think Bayonetta 2 was going to get it was because it's Nintendo. They don't really.
Oh my God, guys! What is Lavon doing? What is he doing?
Huh?
What's up, man?
Well, that camera was a bit, suspicious.
But I didn't think Bayonetta did it. And then when I hear, I got some feedback that people think that Shadow of Mordor isn't the greatest game. And I can't. Anybody's opinion, I'm not going to argue with that, but when they come out and say stuff like it should have been a beta for Batman or was a beta, I can't agree with that.
No, it wasn't, no.
First off, Batman came out before fucking Shadow of Mordor, so how could it be a beta,
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But yeah, they had a it was basically Nintendo pretty much dominated, and we saw Reggie most of the award show, He was throughout the award show. We've seen Reggie. So Nintendo played a big part. You had Best Performance by Trey Parker, which I thought it would have been Kevin Spacey for Call of Duty, but he won for the South Park and the Stick of Truth.
I think they gave it to him because Kevin Spacey wasn't there.
Yeah, probably.
That's one of very few I got wrong.
I thought it was going to be Kevin Spacey.
I said Trey Parker.
Yeah, Trey Parker won that one. Best score was Destiny, which was, I like the music in Destiny. Despite the game, the music that went along with different things you were doing, it was kind of good, so I could agree with that.
Yeah.
Best online experience was Destiny. They won that.
That's sort of weird in a way.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. I caught like. When did you say we started watching, Sean? Because you clicked it on.
They must have been experiencing a different online on Destiny than I experienced.
I think we started at the beginning because they opened with that Mario piano number, right?
Yeah, they had they did a lot of music throughout the show.
Yeah,
that's what I didn't care for. I don't know. They're just going on with different themes to different games, which was cool. I'm not gonna say it was shit, but. Like, I think would they do a Zelda theme at the end?
Hey, I got an idea.
Yeah.
Why don't they just take the music and put that to while they're talking? And it's actually some cool shit going on while they're talking.
That could be cool.
Damn,
yeah.
Good idea right there.
That's what I'll do.
Time and a half, too.
I'll do it on my condensed version.
Yeah.
How's it going, Dave?
What's going on? I know it's one of my stalkers is in here.
And who might that be?
Did you watch the Video Game Awards or no?
I'm gonna peel your skin off.
Yeah, that was. Oh my God, that was boring. That was a waste of 2 hours of my life.
I fucking hear that.
You didn't I didn't like it. I thought last year, believe it or not, as much as people down that, I thought that was better. I don't know.
My favorite part of that whole thing was whenever I saw Boogie. I was like, yo, that dude's on fucking TV. That's awesome.
But he didn't do Francis.
No, I don't think that'd been really hard to do live.
Well, that's what he said he was going to do. He said he might do a Francis skit because he did announce on his channel he was going to Video Game Awards.
Yeah.
But it looked like he was more kind of like, kind of shy or whatever.
That's what I'm saying.
I think the reason he didn't do the Francis skit thing, though, is because if you've noticed a lot in games, they've been having problems with games being shit this year and all kinds of stuff, so they made this very serious so people wouldn't think that the gaming industry is a big-ass joke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good call.
Well, because
That's
last year
right, fair.
it was held in the bar, wasn't it? It looked like, you know. But yeah, it was good for the most part. I like the Zelda that they showed, and they did show some world premieres. They showed No Man's Sky. Like, I'm still lost on that game.
I don't get it at all.
What's going
Nobody
on?
does.
Flo can tell me, what do we do in No Man's Sky? Do we fly around and go to different planets, or what? Do we fight anybody? What's going on?
Yeah, did you get to blow someone up?
Okay, so No Man's Sky procedurally generates, as you know. There's a lot. I mean, you really have to look into it. You got to look at all the details because there's like hours of content that they're going to tell you about that has nothing to do with what they showed you at this or E3. So you got to look into it yourself. There's so much to learn about that game. Like,
Well,
what do you want to know?
What is it? Like, what do we do in it? What's the point of it?
The point of it is to get to the center of the universe.
Do we have to fight to get there, or?
Yeah, there's different ways to get there. You can fly around, but you can also take portals, which will generally take you closer to it. But once you go through a portal, you can't come back to where you were before.
Is there a story?
There's kind of a story. I can't tell you about that. I mean, they haven't told everything. They're holding back on a lot of stuff.
Is there actual fighting in the game?
Yes, there's combat, all sorts. You can shoot dinosaurs and there'll be repercussions. You can shoot other spacecrafts. There's space combat. That's all confirmed. Hey, look into it. It's worth checking out. People are missing out on.
Unique. A very unique game. No Man's Sky.
Sean L told me that the world regenerates itself from the computer, or
It's like a randomly generated world, right?
It generates, but once it's generated, it's generated. That's what's generated.
Yeah.
So it's generating as you're exploring it. So you never know what the hell is going to happen. It's a mystery.
who is that? I don't know who that is.
Little fucking bag on his
Plain
head.
and simple, man, in your podcast.
Oh,
AKA
okay.
Sims.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty much I was just trying to figure out what the point of No Man's Sky was, because every time I see it, I see the guy getting in a ship. You don't see the guy getting in a ship.
I'm telling you what it is. It's Pokemon Snap with aliens.
Okay.
Oh.
Nice.
I'm just lost. I'm trying to figure out what the hell's going on in this game, and it looks cool. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know what the game. It don't ever tell you anything, you know.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But for the most part, did everybody like the awards besides David Maddox and me? We didn't really care too much
No,
about it.
I didn't say that.
It was alright. Okay.
Because you guys don't like cartoon and indie games, right?
I don't like
Challenge
it. I'm pretty
They
strong.
challenge you, though.
I like indie. I like indie. It don't bother me.
I don't mind indie, but there's way too fucking many indie games. I
Yeah.
don't know where to start.
They overloaded the
games like THQ and things like that. What happens? There's like another company, or is indie is kind of replacing that in a way? What do you think?
Okay.
I give my 2 cents about the whole the Video Game Awards. I thought it was decent, but the main thing I want to talk about is that whole Bayonetta 2 stuff that is now on Twitter, and especially the Black Baron. Did you saw his Twitter last night and this morning? It was all rage. He was telling Jeff Keighley that you're almost as bad as Vince McMahon when it comes to screwing people.
Hold on a sec. Most of
Vince
these people that
McMahon.
are saying this, did they even fucking give a damn about Bayonetta 1? But now all of a sudden they care? What's
But you know
that
what's
all
fun-
about? Come on.
Yeah, but you know what's funny is that I find it funny how now they care about the Video Game Awards. Last year they thought it's a joke. They thought that it was like a slap in the face to gamers. And now all of a sudden this year it just happens to be mattered. And they were upset and that 2 lost.
Now that Nintendo's curb stomping, all of a sudden it matters, right?
That's right.
Who's Nintendo curb stomping?
Oh, that's Zelda, though. Come on.
Yeah, Nintendo did fucking show up the award show there.
They showed up.
It was beautiful.
It wasn't bad, but I wouldn't say it's curb stomping by any means.
Well,
Okay.
It's all subjective, but they came out to play. I mean, Mario Maker, come on, man.
I just thought it was cool that they brought all those world premieres, because normally they only do that kind of shit in a Nintendo Direct.
Look, I'm never on Nintendo's side about anything, but I'll say this, though. All that shit was badass, but what about all that time you had a Wii U and they didn't have shit? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what funny was everyone got mad at Shokio when he was mad about the whole Cranky Call thing last year. And they said, no, they shouldn't show Zelda. Look what happened now. They showed Zelda and everyone's happy.
And was I tripping or when they said something about Reggie at first, was the crowd half booing and half cheering?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought so. Reggie. I was like, how are you going to boo Mario? Get the fuck out of here.
Gamers these days.
Last year was the whole Cranky Kong thing. That was what everybody was going crazy about. And that year, they actually showed some stuff that we wanted to see last year with Zelda, you know, and it just...
I think that last year probably that Zelda shit wasn't ready, and David or whoever said it's right. It's about fucking time Nintendo showed something.
Yeah, they finally did something that appealed to everyone. But you know what's funny was now Black Baron, he just already made an anti-Sony video just now.
Yeah, he's always Nintendo. Nintendo has nothing to be upset about because they actually did win awards at all the fan base of Nintendo. They did. It was a lot of Nintendo that show. I mean, that was cool.
Hey,
yeah, no, for how slow kind of 2014 was for Nintendo, surprised they did as well as they did at the awards show.
Yeah. But what was funny, I just forgot what I was supposed to say. Oh, that they enjoyed the show for the most part, but as soon as Bayonetta 2 lost, they were saying, fuck this industry, fuck Game Awards, fuck this media's bias.
You know, it wasn't even about how good or bad Nintendo was. It was about how shitty and disappointing all these games that came out this year were. Not every one of them, but for the most part, they were either a rehash, remake, or it was not even what the hype lived up.
Yeah.
Or came out broken on fish.
Yeah, and Nintendo just said, "This is what we got. If you want to play it, that's cool. If not, that's fine."
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue with that.
But I'm with Wolflow. I mean, I know it's going to piss a lot of people off saying this, but they didn't give a fuck about Bayonetta 1. Why do they care so much about Bayonetta 2?
That's the thing. Good, like KFD. I already know that motherfucker hasn't even ever played Bayonetta 1. And then now he worships Bayonetta to the point that he wants to marry her.
Yeah, don't make much. I mean, not saying Bayonetta 2 is a bad game. It looks great, but
it's a solid game. But you're right. People are acting way too attached to a game.
It's just like when Mass Effect 2 came out.
Oh man.
Now,
because don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people that did play Bayonetta 1 and they were excited for Bayonetta 2. That's perfectly fine. What I'm talking about are the stupid Nintendo fanboys that never even care about Bayonetta 1, but they're worshiping it because they finally have like an exclusive.
well, they could fall under the same thing about Street Fighter right now. You got the new Street Fighter 5 coming out, and all these Sony fans going crazy. Who the fuck cares about Street Fighter anymore?
I don't.
Yeah, stop watching their channels. Stop giving them money.
I mean, when is the last time any of you played a Street Fighter game?
Well, you know the thing is, Street Fighter 5...
a little bit, because Street Fighter 5 coming out in 2018, ain't it?
Well, Street Fighter 5 will be exclusive to Sony, yes, but Street Fighter 5, 12th edition, 5th edition, 8th edition, Upside Down edition will be on every system.
Never lied.
Street Fighter's not exclusive.
Street Fighter 5 Turbo.
It's like Dave was saying before, Dave's had enough. He was saying, you know, they haven't really innovated a whole lot with these 2D fighters, and to me it just looks like the last one. I mean, if you love it, you love it.
So Mortal Kombat 10 delivers. That's all I'm hoping for. And that game comes out broken as shit. I'll so rage at Ed Boon so much that you'll never see me rage before.
Okay.
Right.
Don't get a knife out. Don't get a knife out. It's not worth it.
Rage!
Well, I have a question for everybody. I want to bring this up because Grimpachi brought this up in one of his videos, kind of, and I asked him this question. All right, if Dead Rising 3 and Rise is exclusive to the Xbox One and PC, does that make it not an exclusive to Xbox One, or is it an exclusive?
It's exclusive to a Microsoft platform, aka Windows Windows and the Xbox One.
Yeah, unless it's only on the Xbox One, how could it be
This is how I look at anything.
Xbox One?
Something exclusive means it's only on one spot. Dead Rising 3 is not exclusive. There has not been one Dead Rising. They had these little not DLC. They had these little downloadable standalone Dead Risings. Those are the only ones that are exclusive to Xbox, but all the other ones are on everything.
If it's on more than one platform, by definition, it's not exclusive.
That's a great point. Sure.
Well, that's what I want to say.
Final Fantasy 14 Online is a good example of that.
Well, the reason I bring this up is because I see a lot of Sony fans saying, well, that game's not exclusive to the Xbox One because it's on PC. So, is Street Fighter not exclusive to PS4 because it's on
No, it's not exclusive. Just
Obviously.
because if it was on just PS4, then yes, it would be exclusive.
Okay, because I see a lot of people saying, you know, they're discrediting the Xbox One, saying it has no exclusives, and then it counts when Sony has an exclusive with the PC.
My standpoint's always stayed the same.
More of an example of an exclusive, since you have to have a Windows platform to play them on, so they win.
All right. Did everybody want to? Does anybody else have a?
Yeah. So my standpoint on that has always been the same, which is if it's on PC and let's say Microsoft, then it's exclusive to Microsoft. For people that are console-only gamers like myself, like I'll never be on PC because I can't stand them. So to me, that's exclusive. At the same time, I also think more games need to go to PC because unfortunately, the Sony crowd is horrendous at supporting their first-party developers. And the Last of Us, for instance, has still only sold like 10 million. That game should have sold one copy per fucking PS3 and PS4 on the market. And if it was on PC, more people would play it. So, in my opinion, the developers deserve it, and every game should go to PC, regardless if it's exclusive or not, right? Like The Order, for instance, and the Bloodborne should also be on PC, but not Xbox. In my opinion, they're still exclusive. That's my opinion, but that goes for both sides.
No, but
I don't feel like they're exclusive. I mean, for the main, just definition-wise, they're not. Then on top of that, if you want to say, okay, because it's Windows and it's Xbox, well, if you really think about it and you go deeper, you can't run Dead Rising 3 without Steam. So Steam has nothing to do with Windows or Microsoft, so it still wouldn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? You have to have Steam.
And see, by all that logic, if we're going to do that, let's just put all these goddamn games on tablets and all that shit, and so they can look like ass. Fuck that. If something's catered specifically for a system, let's just make it just for that system. You want it, you buy the system. If you don't want the system, then don't buy it, but you're not going to get to play the game. Because they made BioShock for iPod or whatever. I'm not going to say how I got it. I didn't pay for it, but I acquired this game somehow, and it looks like garbage, plays like garbage, and I've got the newest S6 fucking whatever phone, fucking iPad Air tablet, blah, 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 so it's nothing to do with my device. It's a garbage-ass port. And so what developers would actually have to do is, if they were going to cater to PC, this and this and that, they would have to make a different game for each goddamn platform, and by the time they did that, they would not ever make their money back.
No, they won't have to do that. What they do is like with Max Payne 3, if you look at it on console and then you look at it on PC, PC has PhysX. It has all these other things that they don't limit on a console, such as the model poly number on the models and the texture sizes. Example, they make it so that it runs on a console, and then what us PC gamers hope is that we get the full, completely seamless experience.
That's exactly what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they would have to make two versions: the one that's regular, and then the dumbed down version for low-end graphics. What's the point of that shit? They're not going. They actually make more money by the company, as in, let's say I have a game and I create it, right, and I make it for Sony. Sony's going to pay me money to put games on their system if I say, okay, it's only for your system. The amount they're going to pay me far outweighs the risk of, let's say your game doesn't sell for shit. That doesn't matter. I'm still making all that money from fucking Sony, whether I sold 2 copies of my game or 2 million. Now, where you do get fucked is, say you sell like 18 billion copies of your game, then you're only going to make what you said you're going to make from Sony, plus a little bit on the side. That's the thing. The developers don't want to take the risk, which is why the whole first beginning of this year, all it is rehash, retake, rehash, retake. Because we saw what new IP happened when they try to do new IPs, nobody fucking likes them. Look at Watch Dogs. They tried with that. Some people, yeah, you can say you like it, whatever, just because you want to be different. But nobody really liked that game. I mean, nobody really liked it. It was Grand Theft Auto, but bastardized. And the hacking sounded cool and all that until you got in there and realized that you couldn't shoot out the damn car window.
Hey, the company that made Titanfall made that mistake. They only made it on Xbox One, and I think they regretted it because they didn't make that much.
Well, so what he's referring to is optimization, which I can agree with. I mean, like the order, for instance, is fully optimized, right? So you lose. If we were talking about last generation, you lose optimization. But this generation, because the PS4 and Xbox One and PC are so similar in the hardware, it's whatever he is. He's my what is he, Dave? Who's that? Is that Justin talking? That was talking. Is that his name? Yeah. What he was referring to was optimization, and that he's right for PS3 and Xbox 360, but for these new consoles, they're real similar to the architecture of the PC, so it's not that big of a difference. And so I don't think they're losing money like he says. I mean, for somebody he's saying is correct, but not to the extent that he's talking about. So no, I agree. I think that all games need to be on PC, in my opinion, because they're all made with PCs. Let's be honest. Every game that we're playing is made on a PC first. Let's be honest. So it's not that big of a. They're not losing that much money, but they have more to gain than they do to lose.
Well, there has to be console exclusives, because if there's no, exclusives on the consoles, then what's the point of buying them?
They're still.
I don't think there needs to be console exclusives anymore, because I mean, let's be honest. Even if the same game was on, let's say the order was on PC and PS4, let's be fair. The guy on PC probably ain't gonna get a PS4, and the guy on PS4 ain't gonna get a PC probably. So it probably wouldn't even matter.
I'm just saying there has to be a reason why you want to buy that console. There has to be exclusives.
But I'm saying, like, the person that wants a computer, they're gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might have a computer and a console, but most people that game on PC, they just stay there. Most people that game on a console, they stay with using console. So they probably, it's just like people say it doesn't matter.
No, fam. You know what I'm saying?
Like, people say it doesn't matter that, like, Dead Rising's on PC because it's not on PS4. You get what I'm saying? Because they don't care, Yeah.
No, I just wanted to get this argument out there. Is it exclusive to it or not? Because I see a lot of this.
By definition, no.
By saying exclusive in itself, no. But if you say if you say console exclusive, then yes.
I'm talking about people saying Xbox One has no exclusives because they're all on PC. Is that?
No, they don't count. That is not. No. There's no such thing. When they say Microsoft exclusive, even if you look it up, Microsoft exclusive, they're referring to between like Xbox 360 and Xbox One, not Windows. No, that's not the same thing. So no, if it's on PC, it's not exclusive. It's not even Microsoft exclusive.
This is why at the end of the day, it doesn't even really matter. You're going to get crap tons of games on any one of these platforms. You're going to get them down the road. Eventually, you're going to have a whole library of games. It might not come right away.
I just wanted to get that argument out there because I see people bringing that up, and it just don't make sense. They're trying to. It seems like they're trying to discredit the Xbox One, say it has no exclusives, where Titanfall isn't exclusive to consoles. It is.
I think honestly, I'm going to put that to rest. I think that everyone's happy with the amount of exclusives and the turnaround that Microsoft has done since the the negatives. They saw what when Sony went offline for those 24 days or whatever it was. They tried to make up for it, and Microsoft arguably did. The Xbox One isn't the same system now. It's much more compelling. People don't care about a Kinect, so they said, hey, we don't you don't need to buy it. They've done a good job. That's what they've done. They're just not as good in terms of, the things that have already been overly talked about. They've just got differences, and that's good. It's like you see all their mascots. You see the Halo on the Xbox, and you see the Bloodborne or whatever, on the PS4. That's good.
Or the Drake.
All right, since we're talking about this, there's another topic. Street Fighter V. Does it matter if it's exclusive to PS4 and PC to you? Is that a system?
It's bullshit.
Not really.
Is Street Fighter even relevant anymore?
It's
relevant to the fighting game fans.
Way more relevant.
To the fighting game fans, it's relevant, but to the general public, probably not.
No,
Mortal
I don't
Kombat's
think 2D
been more
fighting games.
Mortal Kombat?
Didn't it?
No, I don't think 2D fighting games have been super relevant since like the 90s.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Not that they're bad or anything. Like, I've been playing Injustice lately.
No, they're good games, but like they haven't been at the forefront like they were since like the 90s.
Well, they haven't evolved, right? They haven't left that.
There's only so much you can do with 2D fighting.
They need way more characters, I think, but that's not going to happen.
I mean, some of these fighting games got a ton of characters. I mean, I'm not saying that couldn't help it, but I mean, they haven't evolved. It's always just been 2D or 3D, like Tekken, like how it goes around. I mean, Tekken's 3D, right? If I can remember. But you get what I'm. It's just it hasn't evolved. Like they haven't really done much to bring that. I think it's weird how people are cheering up Street Fighter, where Street Fighter. It's relevant to people in competition with this shit, because I know that goes on still. But to your people, like, general gamers, I don't think so. I really don't.
I think it's bad for the industry. I don't like seeing this at all.
Seeing what?
Seeing Microsoft and Sony going after established multi-platform games, I think it's bullshit. I think
it's bad for the industry. I wouldn't even say it's necessarily bad, because you got to remember Capcom is getting money from that. Second,
well, no, it seemed like they were working in unison. I don't know if it was money things. They were saying Sony wasn't helping with development, so maybe they just partnered up. I wouldn't say it's.
But I mean, that helps them. Like it's just like Bayonetta 2. Bayonetta 2 was funded by Nintendo, but Bayonetta 2 was also worked on by Nintendo.
Right. So I wouldn't say they gave Bayonetta money. I think it's a co-partnership.
They funded the game. Like they funded the game to come out.
But that's a partnership, though. I wouldn't say that's just like hand them money.
Regardless of how the money, how the money was handed, what I'm saying is money was handed. You get what I'm saying? Money was involved. It wasn't like Capcom funded. I mean, not Capcom. Sega just funded Bayonetta. It was funded by Nintendo.
Well, yeah, money was involved. Developing games isn't free, but it's not like here's an extra $1 million we're gonna give you. But Nintendo kind of worked with them. They helped them.
Okay, but this is what I'm saying. Bayonetta 2 was not going to be made.
No,
so Nintendo decided to step in and fund them the game. I'm not saying Street Fighter 5 wasn't going to be made, but more than likely that was going to be made. In order for that game to be exclusive or whatever, maybe Capcom was like, hey, you help us make the game, we'll make it exclusive. Okay, well that saves money from Capcom because it's not their employees working, it's Sony. You know what I'm saying? So they're saving money.
So Dave Maddox, he wants you basically, Dave. You want it so that they all try and get as many to each platform as they can. But the thing is, it's
that's what I'm saying.
Day one.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, okay, I want there to, if it's third party and it's multi-plat, keep it that way. If we've had, like for instance, if we've had a game like Resident Evil that's been made on several different platforms forever. Why strip it from somebody else? That's not fair. Like I don't think it's not fair to Xbox or whoever loses out. That's not fair. I don't like that.
I mean, in theory, like no one's complaining that Street Fighter's not coming to. You would think of everybody Street Fighter would come to Nintendo because Street Fighter was pretty much on Nintendo before Xbox and PlayStation ever existed. No one seems to care.
Yeah, the last Street Fighter didn't even come to the Wii U.
Yeah,
that's because of Street Fighter. But had it been something that was more relevant, then it would have caused problems. You know what I mean? Like if it was Fallout 4 only on PS4, I would have been against that wholeheartedly, even though I'm a Sony fanboy, right?
Like so, I agree with you, but the only way they're like saying it's bad for gaming, not necessarily because you got to remember, if let's say Fallout 4 is only on PlayStation 4, that would be bullshit. But remember, what if you're an Xbox, PC, Wii U owner that have no interest of buying another console? Well, now, because you like Fallout so much, they're kind of like forcing you to do it. I mean, it's bullshit practices, but it's good for the industry because they're making money. They don't care how they do it. It's good for the industry, bad for the consumer. It's good for them because you're going to go out and probably buy that state.
Well, at the end of the day, they're only hurting themselves, right? Because how many people are going to go and buy a PS4 for fucking Street Fighter?
This is when you have to.
I guarantee you, a lot more people will buy it for Street Fighter than bought it for the Master Chief Collection. Look at the sales of Xbox to PS4. That's all I can say.
People are gonna go out and
Dave laughs every time I talk, man.
Go out and buy that Street Fighter for PS4.
I'm just saying, like at the end of the day, you're only limiting how many copies of that game you're gonna sell. Because only so many people want to pay $500 to play Street Fighter.
It's up to you if you want to do it or not. That's the
Exactly.
thing. So
I mean, there's a big Evo fighting game tournament scene. I mean,
guys, I think Dave wants to say something.
Let's do like a keyword like go. Like when you're done talking to the next person.
Oh, you mean like the troop? It's out, chow.
I think Dave Maddox's word should be penis.
Like when it's your time to talk, and then when you're done talking, say like go or something. So you give everybody a chance to talk, because everybody's over talking each other. And I didn't want to get a podcast like this again, like where everybody's just just something like that. I'm not trying to be a dick or anything, but nobody can hear everybody, you know. Just being fair. Like your time to talk, just say go or something, and then let the next person talk. Is that fair or?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I'm just trying, because I can't. Everybody can't. That's what the people complained to me last podcast, and we got more people in this podcast than we did the last one. And I love having everybody. It's nothing bad. I'm just saying, let's say like a key word and just like give it to the next person. But whoever wants to talk right now about this, tell me, and then you can like, lead it off to the next person.
So are we gonna go down the line, left to right? or something?
I'm playing again. I can't even see the line, so you got to just. I guess Dave, just moderate. Just say, okay, you go.
No, I'm just trying to get it so everybody could be heard what they want to say. A lot of people are over talking to each other, and everybody has great opinions of this, and I want to know everybody's opinion, but it's hard to hear everybody.
All right. Well,
the whole Street Fighter thing we were talking about, pretty much. It's not. Some people in here seem to think it's like David Maddox. It's not good to have it just exclusive to PlayStation 4 and PC. It should be exclusive to everybody.
Yeah.
Does everybody agree on that, or who wants to go first? Or are we done with this subject? I don't know.
Go for it.
Whoever wants to jump in first can go. Or if we're done, if we're ready to move on, that's fine.
Like I said, I don't agree with it personally, but as in good for the industry, like I said, I think it is. It's not good for the consumer, but like I said, there are going to be people that's going to buy a PlayStation 4 that probably didn't want one, but they're real Street Fighter fans, so they're going to go get one now. So that helps Sony, but it really doesn't help the gamer, I guess. That's about it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
But what did you want to say something, Sean?
No, fuck it. Go ahead.
Okay. No, it's just the reason I brought this up too. It goes along with the Xbox thing. You got so many people trying to say, "Oh, this game's exclusive, this console," and some people say, "No, well, it's on PC, so it's not exclusive." I don't agree with that. I agree with a lot of what you guys said. If it's on the console and you're a console gamer and you don't game on PC, it's exclusive.
I think you know, the PC is kind of like the extra format that's been around forever. It's kind of like, it's not the master race by any means. It's really not. A lot of PC gamers stick to their roots. They're playing the newest MMO, the newest RTS, that sort of thing. But you know, like I was going to say to you before, there's been a lot of people building PCs. Some of them for the first time, and they think they know it all. And then, like with your podcast before, some people end up talking about things they do not know much about, and it just goes out of hand. But what I think really is, these games are primarily built on, you know, built for the consoles to run them, and then the PC is just the, hey, loosey goosey, you know, you can turn it all up, there you go. But they look beautiful on every system. I think people aren't really appreciating the games themselves unless they're shit.
No.
But just a little point about the exclusive thing. I think, like I said before, it's more exclusive if it has to be on a Microsoft operating system or a Microsoft based hardware. And obviously Microsoft never made a CPU, but yeah. But like Tekken, I think that's a game that could easily be put on the Xbox One. It's just a money war.
That is this whole Street Fighter exclusive to PS4. I don't know why Sony's trying to secure that exclusive of, you know, even if, you know, I'm with Dave Maddox. I think they all should be on all consoles, but I mean, like Nintendo, they had to go pick up Bayonetta because they picked up Bayonetta 2 because they didn't have the funding for it. So Nintendo funded the project.
If a game like Hatred came to the Wii U, do you think it's a good demographical choice for the developer to do that? No.
Oh yeah.
Look, Mommy, I'm killing people.
Alright, now we're going to jump to the PlayStation experience. I'm sure everybody here saw some part of the PlayStation experience, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
David Maddox, what do you think of the PlayStation experience?
I just want to talk about one thing real quick. And that is, I'm laughing at everyone that talks shit about the Order and how it's a quick time and it's all cutscenes. And I've been saying since day one that you're not understanding what you're looking at. And yeah, that game's fucking the real deal. And I can't wait. And I'm so fucking excited. Then the Uncharted, that was hands down, that was awesome. They delivered more than I anticipated. And I love the way Uncharted blended The Last of Us shooting mechanics, but they made it more smooth, so it's easier to get the headshots because that parlays into how Uncharted actually plays. And then they also used the hit detection, the reticles, and all that from The Last of Us, but they blended it real well with what Uncharted was already doing. They also took the melee system from The Last of Us and put it into Uncharted, but they made it more like a comedy relief kind of thing. So it's not as brutal and gritty as The Last of Us, but it still played like The Last of Us. So, dude, the way they blended the mechanics of the two games, that game's mind-blowing. And the fact that, and here's here's a theory of mine that I don't think a lot of people caught on to. So that was Drake's older brother, right? What we saw was, in my opinion, it was going to be the very beginning of the game. Because if you notice, Drake was not very old. He didn't look like he did in the trailer.
Up as well.
So in my opinion, that was a flashback. And then whenever you're going to see how they had their falling out, and then the game starts, and you're going to be the older Drake with the gray hair and that sort of thing. So, dude, I'm beyond excited for that game, dude. That game delivered. And then I've seen some people saying that it looks like Uncharted 3. If you think that game looks like Uncharted 3, you're a fucking moron. You need to quit gaming. Yeah, those two games right there. That's all I needed to see. I'm content with those two games for all of 2015. That was awesome. So excited for it.
I think what people were doing was they were watching the stream and they didn't realize, like, when you look at that game in its full glory, it's beautiful, man.
Yeah, I'm just going to put an end to that right now and say these consoles are not for graphics, it's for convenience, hence 8 gigs of RAM, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, it still looked beautiful, though.
Yeah, it did, and guess what? Try and build a PC that has, Uncharted 3 looking visuals. Remember that game could run at 60 frames just about on the PS3, so it's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the most impressive feature as well is, if you look at, look, Fish AI is really good, but when you get all those leaves moving out the way and those great water visuals and all that other stuff that they didn't really need to go ham on, but it looked really good. And I like the way that you got Nathan doing a lot more traversal things like jumping, not just wall to wall, but island to island. It looked really good.
Yeah, the gameplay looked good.
It looked
more tactical, Metal Gear Solid style.
It looked cool how when he threw the guy off the fucking cliff and the guy actually hooked onto his foot. Like, that was cool. Like, they actually, like David Maddox said, they implemented Last of Us fighting mechanics and all that, and it looks great. I can't say anything bad about the game.
Dave, did you notice that scene where he dropped down from the cliff and his machine gun was falling and he caught it and then pulled off a headshot? Like, the gun fell off the cliff, he caught it and then shot somebody. Like, come on, dude, like that. And then he was running and blind firing, and oh my god, that game was awesome.
The game looks really good. I don't know if Dave played Uncharted before. I didn't. Maybe some small things like the gun thing. He caught the gun, but the combat and all that looked like it always did. Just looks a lot better. Like, that's what the game looks like to me. It looks like a very better next-gen version of Uncharted. What I could tell is maybe that's just because there were certain areas like that in Uncharted 3 and 2 where you could kind of take out an enemy any way you wanted, but certain areas were kind of like, yeah, you got to shoot here, or yeah, you got to. There was no stealth mission really, but there were times where you knew, hey, the way they're lined up, I can stealth kill these guys. But what it looks like now is you can kind of just do it anytime you want. You could check a combat scenario how you so choose. So hopefully the game stays that way, but so far it just looks like a visually better version of Uncharted.
The way, can I just quickly add a point? The way I look at it is Final Fantasy VIII to Final Fantasy IX. Not much of a graphical difference. There were obviously some, but they're telling a story. That's what they're trying to do, especially since their writer left.
It looks definitely pretty good. I was hoping to see Wiggy Gaming. I think, yeah, he threw out something like Last of Us DLC story, which we already got Left Behind, but I was hoping for another one. I don't know. It was something I was hoping they showed.
They already confirmed it, dude.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, we're getting more DLC. We don't know what it is. I'm hoping for co-op.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah, it's coming. They're gonna talk about it at the panel.
Okay, that'd be cool, like a co-op story or something.
Yeah, dude, that'd be awesome. Like what Uncharted has.
Am I the only one that thinks this? Okay, if they're gonna go and re-release a game like Grand Theft Auto, Last of Us, Saints Row 4, all these games, shouldn't they have to put out some DLC for the re-release?
I think so, yes, but in the same way, I never played God of War Ascension. If it comes out on PS4, then it would just be like me buying it right now with better visuals, etc. So there's two sides to the coin.
Yeah, give us something. It should be free too. Free with the game.
You know what it should be like? It should be like, even if it's just an animation, oh, we couldn't put this in the game because, and then you find out more about the development as well.
Yeah, it should be free with the game. I'm not saying we should have to pay for it, but if we do have to pay for it, oh well. I would love nothing more than more DLC for The Last of Us. That's one of my favorite games of the newer games. I think it's great. But yeah, and you mentioned the Order 1886, David. Did you?
Yes, sir.
But I thought it looked great. A lot of people, like you said, attack it for quick time events. I think it looks like the PlayStation's version of Gears of War.
There's a lot about that game that I feel like the developers are doing a piss poor job of talking about. If you go into the Game Informer magazine and you read the big write up on it, it really kind of dives into the details of the game that they haven't showed. What you can take from it is there is level damage that they're not doing a very good job of showing off. There's like the melees it has a dynamic camera angle, okay, that they're talking about has not been utilized in a game before. And here's the perfect example of that. We saw the trailer at the Video Game Awards where they were rappelling down the Zeppelin, right? Well, on that trailer, they didn't show the left thumbstick telling you to control them going down. Well, in the trailer we saw tonight, we saw the exact same scene, but this time you see that it's actually gameplay while your main character is engaged in a conversation to his left and to his right, and he's moving in a way that we've only ever seen in a cutscene. But now the way they're making this game is the guy's bodies and the lighting and all that is in sync with the cutscene, even though you're controlling it. So they're all, and what I mean by dynamic camera angles is that they're trying what the devs said I went to the PlayStation Experience during E3 and they talked about it, but after the show was over, and what they were talking about is how the camera angle will move and adjust, and they try to keep it to where it's like a fourth person or a fifth person in the group is watching this all go down, and so wherever this invisible person is, that's where the angle's at, right? So it's. Dude, the game is going to have a new level of immersion that we haven't seen before, and I think that a lot of people the scene we saw where he was fighting the Lycan, every time he meleeed, that was part of the gameplay. People just don't realize it because they're not showing the prompts. You know what I mean? So that game's it's gonna really surprise a lot of people. It really will. I'm very confident that game's gonna surprise a lot of people. I'm ecstatic for it. I'm just straight up ecstatic for that game. I think it's gonna be phenomenal.
February 15th, it comes out of 2015. I think PlayStation's gonna have an amazing year, just like Nintendo. Next year we'll have a great year. I want to get an Xbox One. I don't know why, but there's really no reason. The more I see PlayStation coming out with shit, the more I see Nintendo busting out shit. I don't even know if I'm gonna even bother buying an Xbox One when I can use that for games. What I'm going to spend on Xbox One. I just lately haven't seen anything that thrills me with the Xbox One. Not bashing Microsoft, but I don't know. I mean, it was a great show. I enjoyed this show a lot more than I enjoyed the Video Game Awards because the Video Game Awards was full with music and all. This has actually showed some good gameplay and stuff, and so did the Video Game Awards. But I'm hyped for the Order. That's one of the reasons why I went with the PS4. Did anybody see anything to do? I didn't see the whole show. Did anybody see anything to do with the Morpheus or whatever it's called, the virtual reality?
Not yet.
No, I seen Shovel Knight coming to the Vita.
Okay, Shovel Knight coming to the Vita. Yeah, that's some new news. It's not going to be exclusive only to Nintendo and the Wii U.
That was on it was on PC the whole time. So.
Oh yeah, and it was on PC too.
Super Time Force.
Resident Evil Revelations 2 coming on
Well,
Vita.
I wanted to save that first. I want to talk about that, but nobody saw the Morpheus, right?
The Morpheus, Sony had already said they're not going to do it. They're not going to do a lot of advertising to stuff like that with Morpheus because it's something you have to experience, and it won't do it justice. So there's no point in it. It would just aggravate people to talk about the Morpheus.
That makes sense. I have to give that does make sense. All right. Since Vaughn brought up Resident Evil Revelations 2, being exclusive to the Vita, the PS4, and I think the PS3. I could be wrong.
Jesus.
It's gonna. Now this was a game that started out on the 3DS. Does anybody think it's weird it's not going to be on the 3DS or the Wii U or nothing, or is it just me?
Yeah.
I don't think it's weird at all. It sounds like some Nintendo. I mean, Nintendo don't care. Like, this don't sound weird.
It's Resident Evil. It's, you know.
Well, no, Resident Evil Revelations started out on 3DS. It was exclusive to the 3DS at the time.
But it went into everything else under the blue moon. I mean, they don't particularly care. You know what I'm saying?
Now it's not even on a Nintendo console of any kind. I mean, it's just weird. Do you think Sony secured that IP? Like they fell out some money, or?
No, I think Revelation's coming to Xbox 360, and I know it's coming to the computer. So.
Okay. Why is it not coming to the Wii U? Like it's coming everywhere else then.
Probably honestly, because probably Revelations when they brought it on the Wii U didn't sell well.
Okay. It didn't do good on the 3DS?
It could have, but I don't think Revelations 2 would run on the 3DS.
Oh, okay.
It probably wouldn't. It could run on the Wii U, but I don't think it could run on the 3DS. What
did everybody think of that? Like, what is your honest opinions of Revelations 2? And I'm talking about the whole thing going behind it with the it's going to be implemented like The Walking Dead. It's going to be done in seasons.
I don't think Resident Evil as a franchise anymore is worth that kind of risk in paying for like that. Really, I don't. No.
It could work, because Revelations worked that way, but it was a full game. You know what I'm saying? But each time you got to a certain point, it was almost like an episode in the show how they would like deliver to you in the story. So it's not like it's weird for the Revelation series. But I think you can just buy the game. I think kind of like Walking Dead and stuff. You can just own the whole thing.
Yeah, it's $24.99 for the season.
And you get bonus DLC.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna sell it episode. I'm assuming they're gonna sell it episodes because it's 4 episodes the first season. Like Walking Dead does $5 an episode on tablets, something like that. But do you guys think this is a good direction for Resident Evil? I'm a big Resident Evil fan. I mean, this is a side story. Not going to be the main Resident Evil from 6. It's just a side story. But
is that a bad thing?
What were you saying, Wolflow?
Is that a bad thing? No, I never even played 6, but...
it was shit.
I didn't think it was as bad as everybody thought it was.
I didn't play Resident Evil 6, so I don't know.
Did you play it, Grimpachi?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Okay, you and me are one of the only weirdos that enjoyed the game. I don't know. I understand what people are talking about, how it left the horror atmosphere and went into like third-person action.
That was like that too. I tried that.
Started to miss Gears of War a little bit, you know.
Yeah. Well, what's cool about Resident Evil 6, the good thing, I believe you were able to play it with a friend, like. You know, because I remember playing in the PS3 and you were able to play it with people online. It was cool. I thought that was cool. I think the series did take a big shift on 5. 4 is where it got pretty good. You know, how they changed the game up. But 5 was it was all, I liked it. You know, but I see where it went. You know, south. It didn't go good.
Hey Dave, Resident Evil 6 was a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah.
It didn't have. You didn't think it had good boss battles and stuff?
No.
No? Oh.
I'm just being real with you, man.
You know what I'm hyped
up? What people hated about it so much. Like, what was so bad about it?
I'm gonna send you private screenshots of that game, like the demo on PS.
I played it. I mean, I beat it. I beat it on all 4 campaigns. You know.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
You deserve a medal for that. Shit.
I think the series that I didn't like what they changed was that Metal Gear, the one that they sped up, made it faster. Wasn't the Metal Gear
Rising Revengeance?
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Well, that was supposed to be a spin-off. I mean, I'm playing that. Like, this is my first time playing. I'm playing through it right now. I'm enjoying it. It's a platinum, game, so I normally like their games.
Oh, okay. But I'm just saying, from the older Metal Gears, I just thought it wasn't like, I was fine with Resident Evil 6, but I understand where people, I guess, didn't like it. If that's what people are saying.
So you like that game, Grim?
What game?
Rising or
Metal Gear? Yeah, I'm liking it so far.
That's shocking.
Reminds me of my ex-girlfriend. She cosplayed from it.
Nice.
Is there anything else that anybody's seen?
I'd like to talk about Metal Gear Online. If any of you slow brains have played Metal Gear Online before, the new one that's coming out for Metal Gear Solid.
Tell us a little bit about that. Like, I know Kono, that's usually in here, loves Metal Gear, and he says he's going to play that game all year. The new Metal Gear Phantom Pain, he said he will play all year, and it's got online. Now, how was the online of Metal Gear 4?
It was amazing. It was the experience. You know what? You know when people say things like, "Oh, this game won't be alive in 5 years' time on a console." This game didn't have that many people playing it, but I'll tell you what, they were so fucking passionate. I was one of them people. I was one of the best people in Europe. If you look up Flyboy 95, Maximilian, all those guys were great as well. But I was honestly amongst the top 50 headshot. AIM. I was in some of the best clans on there, and it was a lot of fun. It was a very underrated title, and you had to be a pro gamer to play that sort of game and to put up with the bullshit. There were problems with it, but it was one of the most competitive experiences I've ever witnessed on a gaming console before. And this will not be anything like it, but I'll tell you what, it will be a lot of fun too.
How many people were you able to play in a room, like in a match, or what was it?
It was actually 16 people, and it was actually butter smooth, depending on the host. And it was really good for the time, honestly. If you guys, I would honestly ask you to go check it out. Metal Gear Online 2, if you look up the survival highlights, that is where you see teamwork on a console without Skype.
The new Metal Gear looks awesome, and I haven't played a Metal Gear since like ever, and I'm considering picking it up.
Yeah, Metal Gear: The Phantom Pain. They showed off. I saw it last night at the.
It's going to be good, but the online is probably going to be like an advanced Peace Walker Online, in my opinion, due to the fact that the way the trailer looked. I was a bit pissed off, but only because I'm a hipster fanboy of the online games. They tried to make a Karoten, if you know what that is, or a Gakko. It's like a little object that you have to collect in the capture team sneaking, rescue matches, stuff like that. It's like a little doll that they pick up, and it kind of looked a bit retarded. But other than that, I didn't see a lot of customization, unfortunately. They showed different outfits, but like I said, it's going to be a little bit like Peace Walker from my expectations. Graphically, it looked good and it looked smooth. I'll give them that.
They had a character from Peace Walker.
It looked a bit unrealistic and in the bad ways as well. But, yeah.
So a lot of you are looking forward to Metal Gear: The Phantom Pain. Did any of you play Ground Zeroes?
I'm looking forward to Metal Gear, but the online, not so much. I'm looking forward to the full game, though.
I look forward to playing against Grim in Metal Gear Solid 5. Sorry.
Did any of you play Ground Zeroes?
Yeah, I did. I liked it a lot.
Okay. Did you have a problem with how much it was for what it was?
No, because actually I waited until it was on sale, and I think I paid $10 for it.
Okay. Now, were you one of these people that played that game to no end and found a big game?
No, I played it. What I did at first is I walked around like the whole compound just exploring, even if I died, and then I did the missions. Then I did whatever the little side mission things were or whatever they are. And once I was done with that, I was done with the game. I mean, doing the absolute most I could, minus collecting every little thing. I said I probably got about 4.5 to 5 hours out of it. Just enjoying being in the Metal Gear universe and exploring it.
Okay, I can respect that. That's cool. Yeah, I liked it. For what it was, I paid full price for it. And I'm a big Metal Gear fan. Not a huge Metal Gear fan, but I like it, and I was happy with what I spent. It was expensive for being, I consider it a demo. It was like 2 long missions. That's what it was, 2 long missions. The game was over. But for the most part, I enjoyed it. It gave me an idea of what the Phantom Pain is going to be like. And if you bought that copy, I guess it's going to unlock more shit when you get the Phantom Pain. So that's cool. But I was impressed by the Phantom Pain, what they showed last night. Other than that, what else did you guys see from the PlayStation experience? Was that it? The order?
Until Dawn looked alright. I mean, it's not going to be visually stunning, but it's a cool game.
Okay.
Coming on Vita.
Okay.
A couple of games actually. Yakuza 5. I thought that wasn't coming in North America. I'm looking forward for that. There's also Persona 5. I don't know when that's coming up, but I'm also looking forward for that. And it looks like a new IP. Did you guys see the Drawn of the Death gameplay trailer?
Hell yeah, that looked badass.
That looks really cool. And,
now what was that?
Oh, you gotta see that.
Yeah,
you can't describe it.
Was that the one with the black and white?
Yeah.
Okay, then I've seen it. Yeah, that did look cool. It reminded me of Mad World from the Wii, like what that looked like, a little bit. Not exactly. And like Sean said, Team Fortress in a way.
It takes art to another level, though.
Yeah, it does look good. Now, with this Until Dawn, would you guys pay $60 for an interactive movie?
No.
Yes.
Okay.
No, it's an indie game.
Explain to me, David Maddox, what you like about this game.
Okay, so I'm a huge fan of Heavy Rain, and those games, the games like Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, are really meant to be played with a group of people, so y'all can feed off each other's energy. I'm going to speak to Heavy Rain and its greatness, and then I'll parlay that into why I think Until Dawn will be great. So with Heavy Rain, I had no expectations of it. Got it, and we had I started playing it with my wife. She was just sitting there watching, and then I had some of my friends come over with their girlfriends at the time. And we all just, before you know it, we're all sitting there on the edge of our seat, and they're like, dude, turn left. And we're like, no, you go right. And I'm like panicking. And then I don't press the button, and then your fucking main character dies, and you're like, God damn it, I just lost my favorite character, you know? And so everybody's laughing and drinking and having a good time. Now, you take that same experience, and you apply it to a horror movie, and all of a sudden you're going to have a really good, fun time trying to fumble the controller, trying to figure out what you're doing. You can't move the controller to keep her still, and then the panicking of running from the guy and fucking up. Like, dude, that game's going to be a blast. And if it's anything like Heavy Rain, you could play that game, like, 27 times and get different endings and different stories. So, I mean, it's got huge replay value. If you paid $40 for that stupid Metal Gear demo, then this game's gonna be worth every penny for $60. I mean, come on. I think it's gonna be a blast. That's just my opinion.
And make sure you have that.
I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but I agree with David Maddox.
Yes, sir. I know you do.
Because that Heavy Rain game was awesome. I did love that game, but now I don't know if I love that game because of the type of game it was, or if because I love the story in it. The story was badass. Right. But I'll say this, if it's not as long as, or the story's not as good as, then no, it doesn't deserve a $60 price point. And I want to open the floor to this. Does anybody else besides me feel like a lot of games they're making now are meant to be watched on a live stream with Twitch or something like that with people? It seems like they're making games cater towards that. Right. Outlast, I mean, you know, that Alien Isolation.
Less sociable as well in the games.
Mm-hmm. Great
point. That's a fair point, and I think that some people can look at that as a negative. I look at that as a positive because, again, if you don't have the luxury of if you're a social outcast, you don't have any friends. I mean, you get to experience that energy that you can feed off other people. So if you're live streaming and you're seeing the comments and people are talking to you in party or whatever, it makes you enjoy that game so much more. So if you're playing a shitty game but you're around fun people that are enjoying the game with you, it makes that shitty game a little bit more enjoyable. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I agree. Gears of War 3 definitely or not 3. Judgment was a shitty game. At least to me, it was. The story, whatever. But I had fun playing it because I played. A lot of my friends had it. We all had fun playing it online. I mean, that's one of the only reasons that I still buy Call of Duty. It's not because I really like it that much. It's because I have fun playing it with people online.
You know,
Yeah,
it's even more fun.
the thing is, games are meant to be enjoyed on a one-to-one basis, you and the developer. That's honestly
Great points.
You know,
it is. That's the level they used to be at. Now it's different. Now you've got music in the background. We've got iPhones and all that shit in the way. I don't like that. I used to be able to play an MMO and someone would suck my dick. They'd be like, "Oh my god, dude, they're trim." Now it's like, you know, they do it in the shout. It's not the same as before.
No, you all have some great points, David Maddox and Justin Wheeler, especially with how he. You know, David Maddox with how I never thought of it like that way. How you play with a group of people, it makes a game for everybody in the room. Justin Wheeler, how he pointed that other thing out. That everything was great. That's great points. The reason I asked this was because I hear some people saying they're kind of tired of this whole interactive movie deal. It says they're kind of like leaving gaming. They're taking like a Beyond Two Souls, this game, Heavy Rain. It's kind of taking you away from gaming and bringing you more to movies?
I don't agree with that. I used to think that way, but that's just people who don't know the knowledge. I mean, games used to be, there were so many point-and-click games back in the day that were huge. I mean, this is just the evolution of a point-and-click game. That's all they are.
Do you guys remember this? Do you remember a game? Now, this is when my brother was 8 years older than me, so he had all the newest Ataris and all that, and I just was little when I got to play his stuff. My first console was a Super Nintendo because he had the NES. I didn't have. That's how my one had it. They weren't going to buy two. There was a game back in the day where it was actually like a ship, and you shot it like a gun, and you put the VCR tape in, and at certain parts of the movie, you were able to shoot people, and they fell down, like in the movie. Huh. That was like the first step, I think, with interactive movies or games. I bet.
Was it like a Western?
I don't know. You guys might, Justin Wheeler and David Maddox and whoever's older in here might remember that. I gotta look it up to see what it was, but that was back in the day. You popped the VCR.
Yeah, I remember that.
Was it a Western type game?
I'm not just making this up. This was an actual game that you played the movie, and it was like a story. It looked like they were like in the future, and you were shooting the gun, and you could knock people down. It was like the first type of interactive movies, and then they had that other thing. What was that game there was a lot of controversy over, where it had people getting killed and stuff?
Hatred.
What was it?
It was called Night something. I know.
Night Trap?
It was a Nintendo game.
Night Trap, that's what it was.
Okay. No, that's another one. So these games, I never seen these games bad. I just, lately when I bring up that game Until Dawn to people, they say, oh, that's just another interactive movie. But if you saw the demo of how they were playing it today, how the guy literally holded the controller, and if you moved or something when she was hiding, you could give the bad guy where you were, like show him where you were. You had to be real still with the controller, I think, with the light. I'm not 100% sure. But it looks great.
Dave, so you and I are both huge into TV series and movies, right? So for you and I, that kind of game, I'll put it to you this way. My parents are just now starting to get into Walking Dead and whatnot, and these interactive games are a good segue to get some different folks that never looked at gaming as, you know, anything other than children's toys into gaming. Because my parents now they're so into Walking Dead that now they're wanting to play the episodes, right? Because it's a good way to get people that don't know how to play video games and don't have the skills to actually play these things and enjoy them. And for you and I, who are, you know, true gamers that play every day, all day, or whatever, these games are cool for us because you and I both love, you know, Sons of Anarchy, Game of Thrones, and all that. And so it's just another way to blend the two. You know what I mean? I mean, to me and you, the ultimate blend is a game like The Last of Us, right? But not every developer has those skills and or the budget to do that, or know-how, or whatever. But these games, they just have their own niche. Like, you know, like the Walking Dead game, the Game of Thrones game, like all those. This TV series are so big nowadays that this is a good way to parlay off that, and I love it. I think it's great. I don't think every game should be like that. I'd rather play a Last of Us than Until Dawn, but I think there's room for it. You know what I mean? I do think Telltale Games is taking it too far. Game of Thrones should have been an actual Western RPG, in my opinion, Yeah.
In The Last of Us, though, if you die, you just respawn like 2 seconds before where you were. In that game, when you die, you die. So you're
Right.
changing the story no matter what you do.
You got some people saying these aren't video games; they're movies. They're not counting them as video games. It depends. I could look at it both ways, you know. But I just want to know: would you guys spend $60 for that game easily? Like,
I wouldn't pay 60 for Until Dawn just because as of now I don't see where that $60 price tag comes in at. There are games like that I like I like Asura's Wrath. So I didn't pay 60 because I didn't get it when it first came out, but you know I would have definitely paid 60 for that. That was a good game. It's basically quick time events and cutscenes.
And games like that, why don't they put those on the tablet anyway? You know what I mean? That would be perfect for a
I
tablet
don't
game.
think Until Dawn could be ran on the tablet, honestly.
yeah, I don't think Until Dawn could be.
They
ran.
put Telltale games on the tablet. I think.
Well, I mean, not that specific game, but I mean, why don't they? It'll run right now on my Galaxy Tab 4 Pro, whatever the crap it is. I got The Wolf Among Us and Season 1 and 2 of The Walking Dead, and they both run just as good as they do on the PlayStation. Now, I'm not saying Until Dawn will, but all those do.
Justin, so think about it this way. Think about it this way, Justin. Okay, if let's say we take it out of the gaming category, which to me it doesn't really matter either way. It's the same thing. The whole point of having something on screen is to be immersed into that world, right? So if you take a game like Until Dawn that's supposed to feed off of you being scared and the energy of the room and all that, to me, if you play a game like that without surround sound, without the big screen experience, I mean, you're trying to mimic the movie theater, right? You're trying to get into that world, and so if you play it on tablet, you're losing part of that. You're not going to get as scared playing that game on the tablet as opposed to playing it on the big screen with surround sound and that whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And there are some games. I mean, I'm not a big tablet gamer, but you know, I do play every once in a while. But there are some games that are meant to be played on the bigger screen, and I'm not saying Until Dawn isn't one of those. I'm just saying, like, as far as point and click and touch games and story games, I think those would be better suited for a tablet. Now, like Outlast and stuff like that, where you're running and you're scared and it's dark and you got your fucking lights off in your house and your fucking wife is so scared that, like, even she likes the game, even though she hates video games, but she thinks that game's awesome. I don't know why. But it's a very tense game. Like, I feel you on that stuff. And it is more, I don't want to say more scarier because that's not even a proper sentence structure there, but you know what I'm saying. Like, it's scarier when people are watching it with you and you both are like, oh shit, out of nowhere, you know?
Right, yeah. It's that you feed off each other's energy. It just makes
because games like that are mostly just atmosphere. That's mainly what you're getting off of that.
It's a $40 game though for its size.
We don't know what the size of it is though.
Yeah, nobody knows what size it is. It looks like it takes place, I guess, in a cabin, and there's a serial killer, and it looks like it implements like Saw into it and stuff, like movies like that.
There's only so much scale it can have when it has all those branching stories, in my opinion.
I don't know. They could take it all the way to where the girl runs in the woods and goes to another place. You know, you never know. Like, that could go anywhere.
And to me, I think games like that, that are horror games that play that style, to me, that's scarier than something like Evil Within. Now, Evil Within was scary, and I did love that game, even though I still haven't beat it because it's hard as shit. Yeah. But to me, it's less scary when you don't have a gun, you don't have anything, you have to run, you know you're going to fucking die a million trillion times, and you don't know what's around the corner. To me, the atmosphere scares me more than the monsters and all that, you know? Because what's scarier than your own brain fucking with you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Well, in this one, they go a little bit further with the controller and stuff, and how you, I guess, I don't know, something to do with the light, if the enemy knows you're there. They go a little bit more further than that than the other games I've seen, like Beyond Two Souls, and I didn't play Heavy Rain, so I can't say that one, but Beyond Two Souls, where it's just like a point and click. So I don't know if you have to have the camera to play this game. Is it no, or?
Well, so the camera will help enhance the experience, but it's not going to be needed.
Oh, okay.
So, like, and here's my opinion. This is not fact. This is what I think they're going to do. That scene where she puts her hand over the flashlight to cover the light. I think if you have the camera, you can actually put your hand over the light bar, and that will make her do that. You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
That's my opinion. I think that's what they're going to do with it. You need to play the Heavy Rain, dude. You're so into.
Oh no, I do. I mean, definitely want to play that game.
That game is the storyline is amazing. It's really really good.
Yeah, I never really liked interactive story games until I played Heavy Rain.
Okay. But what I was asking too, so you guys do look at that as a video game, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you would pay $60 for it, David?
I mean, call it,
or no?
Call it what you want. Call it a movie. Call it a TV show. I don't care what you call it. Either way, it's all about entertainment, and it delivers on that. You know what I mean? Depending on what you like. So yeah, I'm gonna pay. I'll pre-order it. I'm gonna buy that day one $60. I'm gonna do my best to support the first-party devs this entire generation, the best of my ability.
Yeah, because a lot of people just seem like that's getting away from gaming, and I don't see it that way necessarily.
No, it's an experience, man.
So, yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. Other than that, I think Alright, there was a video the other day. I guess I'll bring this up, too. There was a video the other day that I watched about Nintendo. It's not a whole Nintendo... It is a Nintendo subject, and it'll go on with... It'll have to do with everybody, even if you don't like Nintendo. When you left Nintendo, if you did leave Nintendo, or give me the reason why you stayed on Nintendo, was it because of third party, or was it because, like, why did you stay with Nintendo, or why did you leave Nintendo, if you did? David Maddox.
I've always been a Sega and then Sony, but I went back to Nintendo for the key games. 007, I take it, was a third party. That was my favorite game that they've ever had. And then Star Fox 64 is one of my all-time favorite games, and then obviously Mario Kart. Other than that, I couldn't care less about anything on that system at all. So to me, it's irrelevant. Okay. I'm not a good person. I'm not a good person to ask.
No, it's just a question. I want to get everybody's opinion. Gripachi, if you're still with Nintendo or why you left Nintendo, what's the reason?
You mean the Wii U console?
Leaving. I'm talking about Nintendo as a company and all their consoles. Like, are you with them or did you leave them? When it's mainly over third party. When third party left, did you go?
Yeah, third. I didn't leave because of third party. Like even with the GameCube, I got a GameCube when I was younger because I was like a kid. I couldn't get my own systems. I got a GameCube and I still wanted a PS2, but yeah, Nintendo needs those third-party games. Like that's just what it is. Like the only console they had where I was like I didn't really care at the time, and it was basically I didn't care because I didn't experience them, so I didn't care because I never had them. Was with the Wii. At first, I had the Wii. I had nothing else but a Wii. And I had a PS2 and older systems, but I was like I don't feel like I need a 360. Until I went over my friend's house and played Halo 3, and I said, yeah, I'm gonna need this. So. Nintendo needs those other games. I feel they need some genre. They seem to be getting them, going out the ordinary with their type of games, but yeah, Nintendo needs more stuff.
Well, what brought this up is I watched a video from BearHugger29, and he did a video. He took it down because of my comment and redid the video. He said in the video pretty much it's called "Why I Stick with Nintendo." Or so it's in my last video. Links in the description. And in the first video he came out with, he said in the video, pretty much, if you left Nintendo because they don't have third party, you're not a true Nintendo fan. But then in the next video he did that he re-uploaded it, he fixed all that. He talked about quality of games, that's why he sticks with Nintendo and all that. But like what I said to him, the people that probably left Nintendo because of third party was because, they liked playing Killer Instinct on their Super Nintendo. Or they liked playing games like GoldenEye on their N64, or games like Street Fighter, which I played countless hours on the Super Nintendo, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, playing that to death. I don't think people left, I think the reason they did leave Nintendo is because those great games like Castlevania and stuff aren't on Nintendo consoles. But you can't. What he said in the video, you're not a Nintendo fan if you did that, and that's why I'm asking people: are you still with Nintendo because of their exclusives and stuff, or did you leave Nintendo when third party went out?
Like with his statement, both of you guys are right in a certain way. Like if you were back in the day, I don't know too many people that were this way, but if you were a true Nintendo fan back in the day, meaning all you played was Nintendo's games, then yeah, to you, this wouldn't third party being gone wouldn't matter. Now, if you were like the rest of the world who played pretty much any game that they could get on their console, you know, games like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, what else? Fatal Fury, stuff like that. I played on Super Nintendo, NES stuff. I can't play anymore because Nintendo just doesn't have them. Yeah, I moved on. You know, like I still like Nintendo's games, but it does suck that those games aren't there. Like my Super Nintendo collection is mostly third party.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's games that you grew up on, like Castlevania, that you grew to love with Nintendo consoles, and you just notice those games are gone. And it's like he kind of said, well, if you were playing Nintendo back in the day and you left them because of third party, well, you know, kind of like some of those games started out like Metal Gear and fucking Castlevania on a Nintendo console. So if you just at the time played those games, don't mean just because you didn't care so much for Nintendo's exclusives, but like playing them. I mean, I know people that like to play the PS4 not for their exclusives, just because of their third party. They just like to play third party games on a Sony console. And that could be the same case with Nintendo. Not necessarily you like their exclusives, you just like to play those games on a Nintendo console. You know, but you can't. People can't sit there and say you're not a fan of Nintendo because you left when third party left. You know, it's not a. I don't think that's a good statement, or it's kind of like a fanboy statement. You know, like that's just me because I played Killer Instinct, Street Fighter, always on Nintendo consoles. It was, you know, that was what I liked back in the day, and
I mean, honestly,
I like Nintendo too. Their games like Mario.
You leaving would make you even more of a fan because all those games that were on the Nintendo platform are gone. Yeah. Like most people are too much of a fan of just the name of the company and not the fan of the game. If you're a fan of a game, you're gonna go where it goes. Just, you know, that's the same thing with the Street Fighter thing. It's not good for the consumer, but if you're that big Street Fighter fan, you're gonna get a computer or you're gonna get that PS4. You know, it just is what it is. So people move on. They play different stuff.
I'm not trying to cut you off or anything. When people say Street Fighter to me, I remember the arcades in New York playing Street Fighter, and I remember Super Nintendo. I don't look at Sony as Street Fighter. I never did. It just wasn't. When I hear Sony, I look at Tekken, you know, games like that. But definitely, Street Fighter, I always remember Super Nintendo and the arcades. It's just weird seeing now where Street Fighter has gone, but to me, Street Fighter, again, I'm not trying to bring up, it's irrelevant to me. I don't know. But I just want to know, like, your guys' opinions. Are you still with Nintendo because of, like, I don't think that whole thing of I'm not a Nintendo fan because I left Nintendo because of their third party was gone. Like Cruisin' USA, Turok, and all them, we know it's playing out of business, but those are some great third party games on an N64. You know. Anybody else got anything else that they want to talk about from any of the PlayStation Experience or Video Game Awards or any other news that's going on? I mean, the only other thing I got is Iwata's birthday today, and he's 55.
What do you guys think about the winner of Game of the Year?
Well, we went over that Dragon Age Inquisition. I didn't guess that one.
I didn't either. I didn't think it was going to win, to be honest.
I think it's deserved.
I haven't played it yet, so I can't say. I'm getting it for Christmas, so my wife won't let me open it right now. She said, you got enough games, beat that first.
I didn't play it either, but it looks like it's deserved. I mean, from what everybody's saying about it, I mean, you know, that's just 90 hours of gameplay. I mean, come on, that thing, and as good as it looks, and it's how intuitive it is, and how deep. To me, it seems like it was deserved over that stupid fucking mobile card game. God, that was ridiculous.
Oh, you're talking about Hearthstone?
God, that just made me want to throw up. God.
That's what kids are into, though, now, man. Like I'm saying, like I don't know if you guys watched that new episode of South Park, but that's facts. My son's younger, and all kids want to do now is play on their tablets, and they want to watch other people play video games.
That's true. Yeah, I saw that episode, but it's not just kids. I mean, that appeals to all audiences.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Now, I'll watch somebody play a game, maybe, like if I'm on the toilet or something, or like, you know, a lot of times when I watch. Well, right now I'm at work, obviously. You know, I ain't got a whole lot going on tonight, so I can, you know, chat a little bit, and I'm one of the only people here. But so like a lot of times I'll watch podcasts a lot. But it's while I'm playing a game, not while I watch someone else play a game. You know what I'm saying?
Guilty. Exposed.
Yeah, I listen to Joe Rogan while I play video games.
if anybody's got anything else to add, I'm going to shut the podcast down. I appreciate everybody joining, and we can talk afterwards if you want. But
For sure.
Addicts, as always.
Thank you, Zert.
Thank you, Vexian, for joining.
Oh, can I say something real quick? Can I
Yeah.
say something? Next gen, if you're out there, if you're watching, I'm calling you out, brother. I want a discussion, brother. Come on, quit dodging me. I've been asking for it for 6 months. Next gen, quit dodging me, brother. Come on.
And he
Come
should
at
have
me.
a problem facing you because he usually won't face, like, he'll face people like me with no subs. You know, like, I'm not down, I'm the same way. I don't know why he's dodging you. He dodges, I mean, I guess he dodges everybody. He wouldn't debate Shadow Fox, my buddy.
Hey Dave, one more thing. Miyamoto announced Star Fox is coming out before the new Legend of Zelda.
Yes, Star Fox will be out before Zelda comes out. So Nintendo's got a great year. Sony's got a great year. Like I said, I don't know what's coming for the Xbox One. I don't get it, but
Nothing.
I don't get why you'd want to be on an Xbox One. And I'm being honest, I used to be an Xbox gamer. One of my favorite consoles was the original Xbox. I chose that over the PS2 back in the day. But I was in clans and everything else. I liked online. I was always an online gamer once that came out. But I just think Nintendo and Sony, they got it on lock, and there's no reason to buy an Xbox One. I'm getting more and more away. I was planning on getting an Xbox One around income tax time, but I'm just going to use that to game money, I think.
All they have is Kinect games, Killer Instinct, and Forza 5. That's about it. Forza 2 you can play on the 360. Titanfall, Dead Rising 3, and Rise, and Project Spark, they're on PC.
And don't forget Halo: The Broken Chief Collection.
I mean, they released their main game, like Halo: The Broken Chief Collection, like you said. That was their like bread and butter. It's fucking busted. Like, why would you? That's like Sony throwing out God of War and just saying, "Nah, here's a fucked up game. It's broken." You know, they don't do that. Sony wouldn't do that with Mario. It just don't make any sense. Zelda's not going to come out busted. You know, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I don't.
It's weird to see like a first-party title come out so broken.
And people defending that game is fucking crazy because that's crazy.
Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous.
Thank you, Sean L, for joining me as always.
No problem, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Critical Essence Tech USA is a great video up about Next Gen 720, Junkie 720. Wolflow, as always, thank you for joining.
Thanks a lot for having me, and thanks for everybody, and showing me love all the time on my channel. Stay tuned.
Kason, as always.
Thank you, Dave, for having me on this podcast.
All right, Shrike Zero, as always.
No problem, Dave. Glad I can make it.
Dustin Wheeler, as always. He might be at work doing something.
Yeah, raise up. Whoop. Whoop.
And Grimpachi, as always.
Yo.
All right, I think I covered everybody. Until next time.
Later, buddy.